Hey everybody, Adrianne Cornejo here.
And Casey Kearfott.
And today we are going to be talking about how you know whether you're ready to buy a house versus, as Casey calls it, putting your money in the garbage, right?
Yeah, I do.
And renting. But really, in all honesty, I mean, it has to be right for you. So renting isn't always a bad thing.
No.
But if you're ready,
We're going to
talk about how you might know if you're ready.
Yeah.
So, all right. So one of the first things to look at is if you've saved up money for down payment. If you haven't, that doesn't necessarily mean you're completely out and shouldn't buy. There's lots of programs with zero down. It's just when you do have some money, you have better options, better interest rates, things like that. So that's why we kind of put it at the bottom of the list. Because it's not a ruling out kind of thing, but it's nice if you do have some money to put down.
Yeah. Number 8 is if you found the right neighborhood. So if you live in an area and you have always driven down like a street or a neighborhood and you're like, I want to live here, and a house comes for sale and it's like the perfect house and you're like, this is for me, I would consider buying.
Yep. Number 7, if you have good credit. Once again, this isn't an end-all be-all. We've got great lenders out there that can help people with credit scores as low as I've seen as low as 560, 580 is typically more on your lower end. But even if you're not quite there, we can get you in touch with some of them that are great with helping you through the process and telling you exactly what you need to do to get ready for that. So, and when you get to that point, reach out to us. We're happy to get you in touch with the lender.
Yep. And then number 6 would be that if you're currently renting right now and you got married or you're having a baby, or it's just you got a quarantine puppy and it's just too small. Yeah, it's too small.
No fenced yard. No,
yeah, it might be time to look at buying because of the fact that usually when you can buy a bigger house for sometimes the same amount that you're paying in rent.
Yeah.
So that would be another reason to consider.
Yep. If the interest rates are incredibly attractive, like now, that's a huge factor. So that we put that at number 5. When they're really low, it helps you lock in a rate that allows you to buy more house for the same amount of money a month or over the entire life of the loan. So I'm not saying if the rates aren't as good not to buy, but that's definitely something to consider.
Yeah, and you can sometimes buy, like Adrianne said, because of the interest rate being so low, you can buy a little bit more money for a house because it kind of coincides.
Yep.
Number 4 would be kind of like talked about. You can usually buy a place significantly less than what you're renting it for, just because of other factors,
So like if you can't rent significantly less, then you could buy.
Yeah.
Then it might be time to buy.
Yeah.
Number 3, you actually want to own a home. I mean, this could be number 1, really. I mean, you have to be ready. And by wanting to own a home, I mean that you're ready to dedicate time into yard work, repairs, maintenance. Because owning a home is a time investment just as much as a financial investment. So there are ways around that. Say you want to own a house and you don't want to do everything, but you're okay dedicating some time, maybe something like a condo or a townhouse would be the way to go, because there's HOAs that could be taking care of the exterior, your yard maintenance, things like that. So it's not a total make or break, but even on those, you have to be willing or want to do some minor stuff and maintenance on the inside of your house. So I'd say wanting to own a home is a pretty important factor there. If you're someone that would rather call your landlord if something goes wrong and not have to deal with it, you're definitely not ready to rent. Look at this. It's somebody calling us because they're like, oh, that's me. I'm ready to buy.
You've told me all of my lifelong goals.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to call them back. Normally, we don't do that. Call us anytime. But once we're done with the video, I'll call them back.
Yeah. The second one is if you're ready to put down roots. So if you are planning on kind of our me and Adrian, we both kind of think if you're thinking 3 to 5 years, you're going to stay in one place, it's good time to buy. If you're kind of like, I only want to stay here for a year, might not be a great time to buy, but also if you do decide to buy and all of a sudden you get uprooted or something, there's options there. But
Yeah.
Kind of rule of thumb is 3 to 5 years, you should buy a home.
Yeah. Now, I do tell people if you know that that might not be the case, but you still want to buy, we can help navigate, or your agent, if you're not in this area. If you're in this area, I hope you call us. But even if you're not, call us. We'll get you in touch with a good agent. But there's ways to buy and still be smart about it if you're not sure. So I could walk through what some of those might look like. If you're in that boat, feel free to reach out. So that's definitely still not a deal breaker, but that's just a good general rule of thumb.
Yeah, I would just consider it.
Yep. And then the number one way that we think you're ready to buy a house is if you're financially stable. You need to have reserves in case of a job loss, unforeseen emergencies, etc., or you risk taking on more than you can handle. And we never want to see anybody struggling or get into a bad financial situation.
Yeah, and kind of
the amount of reserve varies depending on the price range you're in.
Yeah, and I think too, being like financially stable also helps. But we also kind of tell people, when you are ready and you get to this number at one point, you're like, okay, I want to talk to a lender. We also kind of say, like, never go to your top dollar in case something were to happen. You don't want to be strapped.
And if you don't have that, but you still want to buy, buying the right way, again, like I said on the last one, is important. So we might buy a house that is, half of what you think you can afford, or there's different strategies depending on where you're at. Yeah. So we can talk about any of those things, but this is
do a video on it.
Yeah, but that'll be coming next. But that'll be this checklist is just a good, kind of starting to figure out if you're ready to go.
Yeah. If you would we would love if you would subscribe to our channel. Yeah. Every Thursday we do a tour Thursday, so we tour different neighborhoods in the Bloomington-Normal area. A
couple times a month we do fun informational videos like this.
Yeah. And we also can help with anything that you guys need.
Yeah, so you can hit the little bell too, and that'll notify you whenever we have videos.
Oh, that's what that's for.
Yeah, come out. It gives you a little notice. So anyway, thanks for watching. Reach out and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry.
We don't know how to undo our live. Oh, there we go.
We were just too far on the screen. Thanks, everybody.